Hi, I'm William. This is the Wine Room at Putnam Market in Saratoga Springs, upstate New York. And we're grappling with the question, how do I answer the question, do we have any natural wine? And perhaps it's helpful to have a look back and say, well, what exactly is wine? And up until maybe 100 years ago, nobody gave it any thought, really. It was only after the devastation of phylloxera, and phylloxera was a pestilence which emerged and devoured, literally, all of the vineyards, very nearly all of the vineyards of the world. And nowhere suffered more greatly than in France, where the amount of wine that was produced and the number of hectares that were under vine was reduced by something like 75–80%. People were desperate to restore that wine industry to its former preeminence, particularly since it took something like 30 years to find a remedy for this pestilence. And what do you think happened in those 30 years? I suspect you can guess. Everybody says, well, that's a good idea. I can go on the wagon for a few decades or two. Be good for my health. Sort of like dry decades. No, that didn't happen at all. Amongst the things that turn up in that period is absinthe, which is an alternative source of alcohol, but more damaging to the wine industry was huge quantities of fake wine, which was made from raisins largely imported from Greece, and which was cheaper than wine made from wine grapes. And so at the end of the 19th century, you have the French legislating on what wine is. And what they say is that wine has to be the result of the fermentation of fresh wine grapes or fresh wine grapes juice. And what that did was that it made it very clear that anything that was fermented from anything other than grapes was not wine, and crucially, use and ownership of the word wine was henceforth reserved exclusively for people who grew grapes and fermented them into an alcoholic beverage.